It's been a year since Michael made his return, and we were introduced to his niece, Jamie. Now mute, Jamie must face the shape once again with the help of Dr. Loomis. This is my review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Nothing quite like getting flashbanged by the opening credits. A quick recap on the events of the third act of the previous film, and we're shown that Michael, now played by Don Shanks, survived by simply floating down the river, and Jamie, still played by Danielle Harris, has become a resident of Haddonfield Children's Clinic after attempting to kill her adoptive mother. Yeah, she didn't actually kill her, just fucked her up enough to warrant being rendered mute, and receiving psychiatric help until who knows when, which, personally, I think would have been something to start with a few years ago. Nice ink, Mikey. When did you have time to get that in between comas and psych wards? Speaking of, it seems Michael has woken up from coma number 2, and immediately kills the hermit who was taking care of him. The best part of waking up is... I guess Dr. Loomis, played again by the late Donald Pleasance, has taken up looking after Jamie now, even though he was fully prepared to shoot her in the last movie. Rachel, still played by Ellie Cornell, has also returned, and... This is Tina, played by Wendy Foxworth, otherwise known as the bane of many of the Halloween fandom's existence. At least she brought Jamie a costume that doesn't resemble a clown. Unfortunately, not everyone in Haddonfield has the same love for Jamie. Yeah, I guess being related to Michael and attacking your mother doesn't give you a good public image. It doesn't help that Jamie seems to be able to have some psychic connection with Michael either. How did that happen? Said connection happens to make her believe that Michael is going to attack Rachel. I mean, she's not wrong, but it ends up looking like a false alarm initially. So Rachel is in fact murdered. But Tina and Sammy, played by Tamara Glynn, simply believe that Rachel has decided to go to the cabin. Loomis attempts to convince Sheriff Meeker, played by Beau Starr, that Michael has returned. Again, for some damn reason, he's not so ready to believe him this time. Even after learning that someone dug up the grave of a 9-year-old and stole the coffin. The hell is going on in this town? Like, without Michael. Naturally, Loomis goes to plead with and further traumatize Jamie in order to figure out where Michael is. When that obviously doesn't work, he goes to the Myers house thinking that Michael will be there. Well, he's not, but someone else with a matching tattoo is lurking around. Meanwhile, local bad boy and Tina's boyfriend Mikey, played by Jonathan Chapin, gets a gardening tool to the face.
There can be only one.
Tina, none the wiser, believes that Michael is... well, Michael, since he's wearing the mask she bought. Jamie attempts to tell Loomis about the situation, and with some translating from Billy, played by Jeffrey Landon, the point gets across. Tina is unharmed at least, but still unaware of the danger lurking around town. The police can't prevent her from going to the Tower Farm party, but Loomis can order 2 police officers to keep watch at said party. Unfortunately, Haddonfield police hired 2 Barney Fifes. In all fairness, these teens aren't the brightest either.
No, hey, just a little Halloween prank, okay?
Let me get this straight. You guys think Tina is the most annoying one here? Michael makes short work of Sammy, Spitz, played by Matthew Walker, and the 2 police officers, while all the other partygoers head out to Skinny Dip in the middle of fall. That leaves Tina to discover her friends' bodies. Jamie and Billy, who had escaped from the clinic, arrive and act as a distraction, managing to get Michael in a wreck. Doesn't stop him for long though, so Tina sacrifices herself for the children. When the police and Dr. Loomis find them, Jamie is finally willing to go through with whatever plan Loomis has in mind. This involves going to the Myers house and setting up something of a trap for Michael. I just have to wonder when Michael upscaled his house. However, instead of showing up at the house, Michael goes to the clinic. When all but 2 officers head over there, that's when Michael arrives. Though he tries, Dr. Loomis is unable to subdue Michael, and neither is Deputy Charlie, played by Troy Evans. Well, Jamie's on her own again. She does make it up to this lovely little loft space that Michael created. It's a real warm environment. The coffin brings it all together. Jamie almost reaches Michael on a psychological level, but that doesn't quite work. Dr. Loomis manages to catch him in a chain net and shoots him with tranquilizers instead of bullets this time. He also beats the shit out of him for good measure. Once the police show up, they put Michael behind bars and prepare to take Jamie well, somewhere, not sure where since her home isn't safe and neither is the clinic. Before they can do that, the mysterious cowboy boot wearing stranger from earlier breaks Michael out, killing pretty much all of the officers in the station in the process. And with that, the credits roll with the classic John Carpenter theme. The atmosphere matches what we got in the previous film, so naturally I appreciate that quite a bit. Danielle Harris continued to make you empathize with her, and even took it up a notch in this film. So it was easy, once again, to follow her through the events of the film. She also portrays a little girl fighting for her life extremely well. You buy that she's terrified. This may be controversial, but the scene in the attic between Jamie and Michael where she has him take off his mask, I found to be very interesting, because it reinforces what we've been told pretty much throughout the entirety of the franchise, which is that Michael Myers is just a man, even though there's clearly more to it than that. It also gave a bit more depth to the relationship between Michael and Jamie, and their connection. The third act is genuinely tense and action-packed. You feel the anxiety and desperation from Jamie. I joked about the change in architecture to the Myers house, but I understand why it was done. It gave the climax a grander stage to play on, and it's kind of a cool setting. I'm not fond of how Dr. Loomis's character is handled here. It felt like such a drastic departure from his previous portrayal of him. I get that at this point he's desperate, and likely centimeters away from going off the deep end himself. But he's supposed to be something of a grounding force for us as the audience. The voice of reason. Here, he's just reduced to terrorizing an already traumatized child to get what he wants. I can't tell you how many lists of annoying horror movie characters I've seen that have Tina high up on that list. Here's the thing. I don't find her terribly annoying. She could do with a little less espresso, sure, but she wasn't a bad substitute for a caring older sister type. For Jamie, once we lose Rachel. Speaking of, they killed Rachel. Not happy about that, especially in the manner in which they have her killed. It just made her seem dumb compared to everything she had experienced and gone through in return. It felt kind of unceremonious too, especially with how early on it happens. Michael didn't come across as threatening as he had previously. Maybe it's the early balding Shatner mask, I don't know. How the transition between return and revenge is dealt with has been brought up by a lot of people, and I have to agree with the consensus of it. We were led to believe that Jamie would be the next killer, because evil doesn't die and all that. But here it's psych! We're not gonna go along with that, guys. The cowboy boots stranger was just to give an excuse for another sequel. I wouldn't fault it if it weren't for the fact that it makes little to no sense. Until Curse, and then... well, we'll get to that. This faceless stranger also takes away some of the mystery of Michael. So, the fuck. With all that being said, I'm giving Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, 4.5 out of 10 bloody thumbs up. This movie feels very much like those who created it were talking down to fans. Like, oh, you want another Michael Myers movie? Oh, okay, well, we want your money. So here's Michael Myers, look. Here's Michael. They gave us clown music when introducing the idiot cops, for fuck's sake. Obviously, I'm not terribly fond of this sequel. However, I don't find it to be insufferable. It could be worse. And it has. It's easily forgettable to me. And previously, I easily mixed it up with some other sequels of the franchise. That's not a good sign. I would recommend Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, to franchise bingers, slasher fanatics, anyone who would like a Halloween film to throw on as background noise, and those with a tremendous amount of patience. See you later. If you're looking for more Halloween slasher fun, check out my reviews of the rest of the Halloween franchise. Thank you to my patrons Michael Musale, Bronson Wright Wolf, Diana Mo, Sean Sheridan, Raiders AK, and Derek Sears for supporting the channel.